What's up, guys? My name's Chris. I'm an entrepreneur in Sarasota. This year, I'm sitting down with business owners to learn all about their journeys, their triumphs, their struggles, and everything they've learned along the way. This is Stir.
We are here today with Monica Dean-Pearce of Monica's Bridal Boutique. So, thank you for joining us here. We are happy to be starting our Stir interview, and we'd like to ask this first question. Who are you?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking this time to speak with me. Again, my name is Monica, and this is Monica's Bridal Boutique and Alterations as well. And so who am I? I am the owner and I guess founder, you could say, of this beautiful small boutique, this establishment. And really my primary focus is to service the brides in and around the local area to find their one-of-a-kind, exclusive, what I like to call heirloom pieces as well, while also providing alteration services not only to brides, but also, everyday alterations, whether it's for a pair of pants, a suit jacket, maybe somebody has a beach dress that needs to be fixed. You never know. So.
Well, that's very, very good to know. I know I probably would need some clothes readjusted. I lost a lot of weight recently.
Good for you.
Well, thank you. I know you see everything a little loose here, and you probably are like, he needs everything altered. But so can you tell me a little bit more about some of the challenges that you have faced when it came to, starting your new boutique? I know you recently had your grand opening.
Yes.
Kind of what brought you to this point where we're talking here today?
So I always think about this question, which I know that sounds kind of weird. I grew up in a bridal boutique. My mom owned a bridal salon up in Connecticut, and she's the secret sauce. We'll call her that. And I always told myself, I think we all tell ourselves when we're little, I'm not going to be anything like my parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom or my dad. Well, it finally caught up to me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my baby for right now. Outside of being a mom to two little boys, This is my baby right now. And I don't know, I just, I see how hard my mom works and what she can do with women and, anybody really, I should say, and how she can make them feel very special and beautiful for their big day and help them find their dress. And I just thought it would be great to have something for the two of us to work on together.
Yeah.
And so here we are. So I'm sticking to the bridal side and she handles the alterations because I'm not your girl when it comes to sewing.
Fair enough. It's really beautiful. So I'm hearing two things in there. I'm hearing, family business, and then I'm hearing women's empowerment, women's business. Both of those are really interesting to me. I grew up with women. My mom was a single mother of four, and I was always around my aunts. I was always around my cousins, mostly ladies. So for me, it's always really empowering to see them achieving things and other women really following suit. And so in relation to the family aspect, even more so when you have that mother-daughter connection and you're doing it together. So maybe there was some challenges within, coming into the business together from that aspect. How did that look as you kind of grew out?
That's a really great question. When I think about it, we've had this conversation for quite a few years now, and I knew that she had always wanted to find a spot here in Sarasota where she could focus on her alteration side of the business. And just in thinking in terms of what Sarasota has to offer in terms of the bridal industry, I felt like it could use a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is truly having a space dedicated to the bride. So as you can see here in this space, It's very exclusive, meaning we work one-to-one with a client. We're never going to have more than one bride in here at a time. We can't do it. And I personally don't want to do that because I do believe that if someone's coming in here, whether it's for an alteration service or a wedding gown service, it's supposed to be about them at that moment and not having 3 or 5 or however many people come into the business as well for service. It just takes away from them. They're important, whether it's for a bridal gown or alteration service, it doesn't matter. So I really thought about that and what Sarasota had to offer, didn't have to offer, and I wanted to make that available to the people in the area. And I wanted to make sure, growing up in the bridal industry, I remember women coming in all the time. Oh, this dress is beautiful. This is beautiful. Can I have it in this size? Can I have it in that size? Well, I always thought, even me personally, it kind of takes me back to prom season, right? No young girl wants to go to prom and show up and another girl's wearing the same dress.
Absolutely.
So I am very adamant that every piece that I have in here, one, I guarantee you're not going to find it elsewhere. And two, I'm only going to sell that gown one time. So no other woman, as far as I'm concerned, is going to have your same gown.
That's really awesome, honestly. I mean, that exclusivity is something that, it's their special day, right? So it gets to remain their special day in all capacities when you offer that kind of service. I guess when it comes to finding your market of women, giving them that exclusivity, what has been the challenges in making your presence known in your business as a whole?
So I do think, especially in this day of age, it can be difficult in terms of the marketing piece. Having and seeing how successful my mom was with her business for 30 plus years, at that time, she didn't need to worry about a website or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, or let alone turning a phone on. It was people were out in the streets. They were walking around. They went into your place of business. You either served them, you didn't, whatever it may be. And then it was just solely word of mouth, really, or maybe a newspaper advertisement, if
honestly,
that.
Yeah, like
maybe the radio.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
One feature somewhere, like a little, like you said, magazine or publication.
Exactly. So for me, I will say that's probably the biggest challenge right now, is just really getting people to know that we're here. And that's something that obviously can be fixed and resolved, with a click of a button, 100%. So to speak.
And you're in a great location.
No, this is the perfect location. I think it was really great that we took advantage of this space and of this opportunity. Everything kind of happened. Again, I did share with you that we had talked about this for at least a few years, this whole idea. And even then, I was very adamant, if we do this, we cannot have a lot of inventory. Right. Because it becomes too convoluted. It becomes too overwhelming. Right. And so, as you can see, even for me, this is a lot. Personally, I wanted to have maybe 30 gowns on the floor. That was it. We have maybe about 50. Okay. So we're a little over, but that's okay. Yeah. It's good to have some some choices, some variety, right?
Absolutely.
So again, it just goes back to getting the people to know that we're here. But this space actually used to be a shoe cobbler and alterations business. So people come in for the alterations, and then they see what we have to offer, and then slowly word of mouth, comes about.
So it sounds like you made all the right decisions. I mean, as we said, your grand opening was very recently.
Yes.
So you're still on the up and up, and you're upcoming. You have experience behind you, though, 30 years, your mother. Do you care to go a little bit more into detail about, how she inspires you to do what you do every day?
Well, she had me in a basket underneath the sewing machine when I was a baby. So I guess we could start there for inspiration.
Well, just hear the sounds.
I guess.
Your whole life.
I don't know. As far as inspiration goes, I don't know. I guess she's an entrepreneur at heart. She's a very hard worker, and I see that. And that just stuck with me, and I figured, why not? She loves what she does, and if I can kind of play off of that, so to speak, it's a no-brainer, right?
Absolutely.
Especially when I grew up in the industry and I have that background knowledge, and I love talking with people. So see, you laughed.
You hear mom in the background chiming in. I love it. What are some of the successes that you have had so far? What's been encouraging you recently to really push and keep going?
So just this month, as you mentioned, we had our grand opening. We've had a really good mix of clientele, whether it's on the alteration side or specifically for the bridal gowns. I think one of the biggest successes actually just happened the other day. So we had a bride come in. She had called me in a frantic because she's getting married next month. And she's been to at least a handful of bridal salons in and around the area. And she just couldn't find her dress. She saw all these styles, whether they were online or in person. And so she came in and she shared with me the styles, asking if I had anything like that. And I very frankly told her, I said, unfortunately, I don't. I said, I don't have any of those styles, but I can show you gowns that may have the sweetheart neckline or the deep V that you're looking for, but I'm not going to have anything that resembles those gowns. And she said, fair enough. And I had explained to her, I said, I really try to make sure that the gowns that I have, they're not going to be found anywhere else, because otherwise it's the same gown, but with a different tag.
Right.
And she did admit right off the bat, you know what, you're right. Every gown that I tried on was pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She found a gown here probably within a half an hour, 45 minutes at the most.
Wow.
Lovely lady. We had so much fun together, 3 of us. And it was nothing like she had tried on before. And she was so happy.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you gave her an experience, right? And maybe that goes back to maybe what I hinted at a little earlier, when it really is their day, right?
It is.
And you want to make it about them as much as possible, including the lead up process. And maybe we can speak more to that. That's a great success story. How can other people come in and understand what their experience would be like working with you, Monica?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, again, I always try to make sure that it's appointment only, because I want to make sure that the space is designated for that one person.
Mm-hmm.
I always ask them, do you have any ideas? Do you have any styles in mind? If you do, please share them with me.
Mm-hmm.
I make it known, and I'm very transparent. The gowns that you see here, we can always alter them and tailor them so that they fit you off the rack. If you don't find anything here, I don't want that to be the breaking point. I want this to be a relationship. So if you have a dress in mind,
Mm-hmm.
we can customize it and make it for you.
Right.
So you're not just, they're not held to just looking at the gowns that are here in person.
Mm-hmm.
They can absolutely come to us with an idea. We can put it together in a sketch and we can have it made for them.
Absolutely.
So then it really, truly is the one of a kind gown.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's a great aspect to think about. And, the bonus of having your mom here working right in the place with you, and she is the seamstress.
Mm-hmm.
So, she can answer any questions directly.
Absolutely.
Which is, everything's custom. You can't really beat that, right?
Absolutely. And we will be very honest with our clients. We will tell them if we think this is going to work, if it's not going to work, if we think it's a good idea or a bad idea. We don't ever want to push anything onto anyone.
I love that. So basically, you can bring your dreams and we'll do our best to make them a reality.
Absolutely.
I love that. As far as some of your future goals for, Monica's boutique and everything else beyond that.
So my future goals, well, I definitely would love to grow the store. And what I mean by that is having, I'd like to grow the store in terms of the personal design.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to have more brides come in here that want to have a piece made for them.
Mm-hmm.
We do have, we are actually working on some gowns right now. They're not even wedding gowns. They're just formal wear that we're making for people. So that's been really fun and very exciting. But I would like to grow the business in that aspect as well.
That's awesome. You mentioned a little bit earlier, you can do suit jackets and things like that. Does that include men's clothing?
Yes. Actually, one of our first alteration appointments was for a gentleman, and he came in with some business suits that needed to be altered, and we took care of him.
I love that.
Yes.
So very good to know. Chris, make sure that you come here to get your spiffied out. I know I definitely need to. I'm looking very loose. Okay. Are some of the tips or advice that you can give to bride-to-bes who are about to start there?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I could give any bride-to-be would be to don't get too confused. And what I mean by that is that you go into a store, a bridal salon or a boutique, whatever it may be, don't try on a dozen gowns. Don't do it, because you're going to walk out of there and you're going to be so confused and you're going to feel unhappy and you're going to say, I tried on all these gowns and I still didn't find the right one.
Right.
So it can get a little too confusing if you try on too many gowns. That would be my biggest piece of advice. if I had a bride come in here, I always try to keep it to no more than 5. I think 5 is a really good, healthy number. You can get a few different styles within 5 gowns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do you kind of coalesce people's minds in terms of like a ton of different ideas? Maybe they have a deep line that they're okay with, or maybe they're just super flexible, but they just aren't sure where to kind of start. Where would you go with those types of people?
So a few other questions that I ask the bride to be, other than, any styles or ideas in mind, I always ask them, when is the wedding? Is it a daytime wedding? Is it an evening wedding? Is it a church wedding? The venue plays a big part in terms of what women are comfortable wearing and what they're not comfortable wearing, right? So I start off with that. And then if they have the answers to those questions, I try to, I walk through the gowns with them. I don't ever say like, you wait there and I'll decide for you. That's not the case. We have a conversation about each piece and if they're interested or open to trying the gown on. Sometimes I'll pick a gown when I'm looking at the individual and their body type and whatnot. And I say, oh, I think this could work with this person right here, with this woman. And she might look at me like I've got 3 eyes. Like, what is wrong with you? This is not me. And I say, but please, would you mind trying it on?
Right.
And then we'll go ahead. And more often than not, they're pretty open-minded to what we suggest. So, and if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, okay, we know that wasn't the style.
Right, absolutely. And then I guess, again, to having your mom be basically your business partner and your seamstress right here with you, she can let them know where adjustments can be made right on the fly. Beautiful, beautiful companionship you guys have going here.
Thank you.
All right, so you mentioned that you have 2 little ones?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm sure they are a handful. And starting a business is a handful. So,
yes.
How do you balance the demands between your personal life and your business life as an entrepreneur?
That's a really great question. And I wish I had a concrete answer for you because I'm still trying to figure it out. So I have 2 little ones, also 2 dogs. I'm surrounded by boys, all boys. But I also have a full-time job as well.
Wow.
That's my secret. So this is my baby for now. I want to grow this baby to be well established and to essentially run on its own, to hit the ground running. I've been really fortunate and really blessed that I have great support system. So I've been able to make everything work.
Yeah.
But I don't have a concrete answer for you because I'm still, not every day is smooth sailing.
Absolutely.
It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, you said, I just figuring it out. Pretty sure that's like the
calendars help.
Yeah.
Paper and pencil. I'm a big paper and pencil. I write everything down.
There you go.
So just staying organized and on top of things. And I think for me at the end of the day, whether it's family or work, it's all about follow-up. So just staying on top of everything and making sure I know, what takes precedent over the other thing.
Absolutely. That's a great word to walk away with, follow-up. I mean, it's vital to this business and it's vital to life as a whole, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think I've taken enough of your time and I appreciate your willingness to dive in deep and stir things up with us. So.
Not a problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.